Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. It looks warm there.
Oh my gosh, it is. I got
It's nothing
sunburnt
but rain and
yesterday.
thunderstorm here.
Ugh. It's gonna be
It's
80
been
tomorrow.
yucky here.
Yeah, we're not going to the gym tomorrow. We're gonna go do something else.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, who would have thought? Yeah. Okay, so today we are gonna talk about Paramount Plus's new Happy Face. It's about the Happy Face killer, naturally, because once again, you're at after dark during the daytime.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. But it's actually, I really like this show. Like, I think it's very good.
Yeah. At first I was like, but Sammy, it's not a documentary.
Right.
I think it's dramatized, but it is
It
really good.
is. It is dramatized, but it is really good.
I'm
It's,
enjoying it.
yeah,
Sometimes it's hard to follow documentaries a little bit, but you do have to recognize what's dramatized, like
yes,
fictionalized or
yes. Yeah, I think it's really good. I'm a sucker for Dennis Quaid. I did grow up on The Parent Trap, and he was the Parent Trap dad. So I love Dennis Quaid.
yeah, Tyler was
Um,
like, Dennis Quaid? Okay, let's watch.
There you go. My boy, Tyler. He probably grew up on the Parent Trap too.
Yes.
Okay. So it follows the daughter, Melissa, which is Keith Jepson Jep Jep
Jesperson?
thank you. Keith Jesperson,
He has too
the
many
happy
S's in there.
seriously. He was the happy face killer. He was born in Canada, but they lived in Oregon. Is that
Uh,
correct?
I believe so, yes.
I think so too. And then in between the 1990 and 1995, they discovered um, he killed at least 8 women. He was
Yeah. I guess
he,
they say at least eight,
mhm. But there
which
could be more.
right.
And I think that's why this whole thing even came out. But it's more
Yeah.
about like the fact how it changes the family when you have a serial killer in your family. And I mean, it makes sense because you're like, oh, how could they not be evil?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But
The questions that always go through my mind is how can they not like have some sort of evil in
yeah,
them like that? And
yeah,
also how how could how it affects people and how they don't see any of the red flags until like the information comes out. And
right.
then I think that's at least the first two episodes that I've seen. The show is doing a really good job of showing how like certain things can trigger memories that like our brains kind of suppress to like protect us, you know?
Totally. Brains can
That's
do
what it's
crazy
seeming to be.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally believe that too. I think that your brain and your subconscious kind of protect you, it protects you from
Yeah.
remembering terrible things or I mean, as so many times you'd be like, that never happened, that never happened. Did it happen?
Right. Yeah.
We don't know.
I mean, that's like people, dying with a lie. Like people will convince themselves even like they believe
Yeah,
their own lies. I feel like it's the same. Like our brains
totally.
like are like, you know what? That is too harmful to remember. So we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna bury
yeah,
that deep down.
yeah. I have I get asked all the time, like, how do you know that the police had to bust down your front door to get you from hanging out a two-story window? And I'm like, I don't. I don't know that. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah.
But I do know that it traumatized the grown-ups around me where they had to keep reminding me of this terrible thing that happened to me. But
Yeah.
I don't remember it to save my life. Like, I have no idea.
Right.
All
Ugh.
I know is that it's traumatizing to be told, hey, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you.
Right.
And you're
Yeah.
like, it's happened to me, I guess.
Yeah.
They're like, why
And
aren't you traumatized? I don't
right.
remember
I
it.
don't remember it. Like I also think trauma is you don't always see it. You know what I
No,
mean? Like it
no.
probably has affected you in certain ways of your life that you don't even
Well, I tell Victoria, I'm
know.
like, did you know that Mommy almost fell out of a two-story window. And she's
So
like,
stay away from that effing
yeah,
window.
I'm like, don't climb up there, okay?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, why'd you almost fall? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't remember, but I was told, so let's keep away from the window.
Right.
She's like,
Please don't do that.
okay. She's like, okay.
Right.
I'm like, what am I gonna do?
But see, like in Melissa's instance, I'm like, it's like that same kind of trauma a little bit, but it's also like the guilt because
Yeah.
I mean, Jesperson, yes, was gifting her things after these kills, and it's like that really put into a timeline. Like she knew
Yeah.
she's got these memories the rest of her life, like all of these gifts, like she knew exactly when
Mhm. It's
her
something
father did that.
special. Like, why would you not? And she was old enough when this was happening. Like, she was a teenager when this was happening.
Yeah, she was 15 when she received
Yeah.
the last gift from him. I put
Yeah.
gift in air quotes
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
stick, but
Because we're not sure. But yeah, she was old enough to know and remember things and be somewhat active in the whole um situation to like know, oh, okay, so that makes sense. Like when she said in the show, she's like the trampoline or whatever.
right. Yeah, that
And
apparently was the last gift that
yeah,
he had
but
brought
she's
his kids.
yeah, and she was like, I know when we got that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, she was
It's
15. So it's like
yeah.
she has that memory.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
it's really crazy because no one ever really like I that's probably why I like um Evil Lives Here because it's all about the evil people that live with the family, like
yes, I
their
do
family.
like to, I guess I shouldn't say I do like to hear. I should say I'm
I do like to
interested.
hear, no, I
Right.
do like to hear what they are also going through too. Because if
Right.
there is signs, is there a way that we can pinpoint it? But we don't really know because
I think that
people
yes,
do weird things.
I think there's always signs. It's just I think that it a lot of times is impossible to string all of the signs together to equal what it
Totally.
actually equaled, you know?
Yes, yes. She made her podcast, and this is how the Happy Face Killer story even happened on
She
Paramount.
also
This is
wrote a
from
book, I believe, right? I wanted to
yes,
listen to the audiobook before we did this, but I haven't purchased it yet. So,
and you don't have time.
yeah, I
If we're getting down to it, we don't have time.
yeah, if I
Um,
want to be able to watch
but
shows and do that.
we are gonna do because this is still like actively coming out, and Brittany's only watched the first two episodes, so she has to catch up to where I am. I am now on the. I just finished the fifth last night. Super pumped about it. Very good. It
Right.
is dramatized, so we have to keep remembering that.
Yeah.
But I do like to know like the differences. But with her being so involved in this, she's probably like, well, I mean, it is kind of dramatized, but this was my life.
Yeah.
It was
I
I was a
think
normal mom, working mom, and
yeah.
I was still the daughter of a serial killer, which I no one knew because she changed her name.
Right.
Which
Yeah, I think the most dramatized part is in the show, they're actively looking into
ninth. Yeah.
a ninth murder. But in
Yeah.
real life, he in fact just never confessed to a ninth murder. Nor did Melissa go and visit him this often. I think it said what, only twice
Yeah.
that she visited him. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I
Yeah.
do understand like why they did the like why they put the show in this way because it's like they can give
Right.
some facts, but then they can
Yeah.
also like, kind of snowball it into see what maybe their theory was. I don't know, you know.
He's out.
Right.
Um, so right now, the show, they're finding the killer, a woman named Heather. She died in Texas, and her boyfriend now, yeah, in the show, he is black. Heather was white. They live in Texas. Playing
I'm cutting in and
a
out.
lot. Am I? It's the
Yeah.
wind. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's like randomly. It feels great, but it's like randomly like freezing.
Okay.
Um, So I think they're playing into the fact that it's the South and it's an interracial couple and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know how far it's going to go, but I do like to see we see Elijah is the guy's name that's on death row. He was saying I never did this, blah blah blah. I loved Heather.
Yeah.
Heather wrote the song,
And
blah blah blah.
he did have an alibi. He was working night shift, correct?
Hmm.
But then the police ended up changing
Hmm.
the timeline of her death to an hour
Hmm.
prior,
So he didn't
which
have an alibi.
I need to note, I need to look more into him also. Like,
Elijah.
right. Because I
Hmm.
just don't know what facts they're putting into the show versus,
Real, real
right.
life. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. I did not go deep dive into if Heather was a real victim or not. Um, I can. That's not going to cost me any time, actually. But it is, I think that they're trying to build this into a bigger story, which, you know me, if you're going to have drama, you might as well have some drama.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do. The fact is, there were people that, I think were falsely accused of
Yes.
some of his murders and things like that. Just not sure if Heather is a real person, even, or if. So that's why I would like to look into each victim and and Elijah
Yeah.
because that does happen all the time. People,
Yes.
are sitting on death row. Innocent people are sitting on death row. Innocent people have been executed. Which is a scary thought that you can actually be innocent and still be executed.
Yeah. That's the problem.
What is that show that I sent you?
Which one?
It was about a dad who it's his whole thing. He's accused of murdering his children in a house fire and he's sentenced to death row.
Yeah. And
I need to
it
look
was,
that up again.
yeah, I don't
I think
remember
it's
which one that is.
fiction, but I feel like everyone should watch it because it's insane to see that side of it, you know? What are you looking?
Okay, so okay. Well, Jesperson did falsely confess to a murder he did not commit, leading to the wrongful imprisonment of Laverne Pilvinick and John Sosnarvik for the murder of Tawana Bennett. The characters Elijah and Heather do not represent these individuals. Instead, they are fictional constructs designed and enhance the show's dramatic tension to
Okay.
delve deeper into the emotional and psychological impact on Melissa and daughter,
It does
Jesperson's
feel
daughter.
like they added this all in so that the viewers could see like the flashbacks, like how Melissa is triggered into remembering certain things,
Right.
which I do like how they've done that. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I feel like they're not disrespecting true victims. I feel like
Right.
they're not using true victims in order
Horrors.
to,
Yeah.
to tell this
And
story.
I think that was probably her thing. She's like, look, I don't want to, this is just a podcast about,
Re-traumatize the family
yeah,
anymore. Like,
yeah. Like they've already dealt with their stuff. And yes, one of the things she says in the latest episode, she goes, yeah, I'm a daughter of a serial killer. And yes, this is trauma for me too, but I didn't do anything.
right.
He
Yeah,
did.
right.
He's the problem, not me. I didn't
Even if
do
she
anything.
has like
And
survivor's guilt of some sort, it's like she
right,
could work through that and know and
right.
understand
And
logically that that's not on her.
And realistically, if you actually look at it, she said the court is designed to make us them and them. We're separated, literally on two sides behind two different people, when all we want is justice. But
Yeah,
we didn't do anything to them. I'm just a family member. I didn't do anything to your daughter.
right.
And that's so true. And a lot of people are just like, "Ooh," like because your family did this, it's really hard to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah. I do get both sides of it because it's not fair to treat her as if she had any part of it.
Right.
But it's also like I could really see being so angry and like so resentful about it that like you let that take over and you just despise the whole family or anyone connected, you know?
I mean, it is super hard. Like, my aunt was murdered, and she, I mean, I loved her. I didn't know her until later on in life. She just wasn't a part of my upbringing because I wasn't around my biological mother
Yeah,
at all, and that was her sister. But when she was murdered, it changed things a bit. I don't like the guy who murdered her, obviously, but I couldn't point him out to save my life.
right.
But I don't hate his family. His family did nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it for what happened to her, it doesn't change that the family also has somebody in prison for life.
Right. Yeah. Everyone, both sides are mourning in some sort of way.
Right. And so
And
it's really nice to hear, and it's refreshing, I should say. It's nice to hear, and it's refreshing to hear just because you are a product of a killer, or you are a victim of being a victim of someone, it doesn't define who you are. Like, it doesn't mean that you are as well.
good can still come of you and your life. Like Melissa's
Exactly.
doing all of this advocacy work and all these things
Hmm.
that even just trickling information to people, I feel like can help. So it's like,
Right. I mean, good for her. Like, honestly,
yeah,
like
it's like
she
she's
was like,
turning,
do you how
she's,
many serial killer kids there are? There probably a lot. And they're probably
there's
all like,
probably a lot that don't even know their parent is a
yeah,
serial
they're like,
killer.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like covering their heads and like keeping down, like they don't want anything to do with it. Or they're just like, hey, it's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, the
Or they're
shame that
like,
I would feel, I would,
right,
you know,
right,
because that would be a very confusing feeling because you're mourning the person that you believed them to be, and then
totally,
also trying to accept that this is actually how they are. Like I
right.
can't imagine like one day finding out my dad murdered 8 women. Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
what
Like,
do you mean? You know?
honestly, when you have children, those children look at you and your whoever you're with, their parents, they look at their parents as gods. We literally keep them alive, we keep them fed, we do everything for them. You are a god to them.
And a lot of times, if you don't do everything for them, they're still fighting and wanting your attention. So
Exactly. They just want
they've
it
got this
constantly.
bond. Yeah,
That's their job in life is to just latch onto the people that created them. That's
mhm.
that's
It's
all they
natural.
need. Yeah. But to be told after you already believe that this God has kept you alive for so long that he's a murderer or she's a murderer or whatever the case may be, but
Right.
they harmed people instead of taking care of them the way that they took care of you, that's very confusing for
And not
children.
only harmed, like
Harmed.
harmed. Yeah, went out of his way to harm. It's,
Yeah, that's very, very hard for, like, I couldn't imagine. Could
I,
you?
no. And
No.
especially to hear actual details, like even through this like fictionalized, this dramatized show, I'm like, my heart hurts for obviously the victims and the victim's family. But we
Oh,
do have to
absolutely.
remember that Melissa is also a victim
Yeah.
in
That's
a completely different way. But it's like, I cannot
she,
imagine having to sit there and have the guilt of the victims and for the
yeah.
victims' families, but then also trying to listen to all of the details because I would
Hmm.
feel like it's my job to listen to the
Not have
details.
known. Yes.
It's like the least I can do is know the details, accept the details, and, you know, the victims went through it. I don't know. I feel like that would end up helping my
Some
guilt,
people
but
don't, yeah. Some people just don't want to know the details. They're like, "Eh,
some people
cool, dead
can't
to me."
though. Like,
Yeah. Becomes too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
overwhelming, and then that's when your brain just shuts down and doesn't remember it anyway.
Protects you. Yeah. Protects
We're
you.
gonna
Does exactly
disassociate,
what it's
okay?
supposed to do. Come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do and hard. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I I was all cold inside, so I decided to come outside, but now I'm like, I'm dying. I'm in black, of course.
Well, you're very close to
Um,
the sun in Colorado.
that's true. It's I don't know, it's just it's very, very sad and disheartening. I feel so bad for all those people, especially because you know that it messes with them. And I don't think that I'm by any means superior. I just don't deal with things. I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I don't wanna.
I have a hard time disassociating and
But
doing things like that
I
as
think
well.
it's very yeah. I just oh I'm good. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm all done.
Yeah.
But it's very sad. But this is a very good episode. Oh, show. So if you haven't seen it, definitely look into it because very good. I really enjoy it. I'm excited to watch the rest of it as well. But do you have anything else?
Yeah. Now that it's the weekend, we'll be child free tonight, so I should be able to maybe catch up.
Chill. Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
Yeah.
Well, perfect. We will see you guys next week. Let us know if you liked it.
Bye.